Would you rather have Baker Mayfield for the next 7 years than Mac Jones? Phil, first.
For me, there's no doubt in my mind that I'd rather have Mac Jones. And it's almost more because there's still ceiling there that we don't know about. How high is it? How high does it go with Mac Jones? With Baker Mayfield, there is a backlog of experience, and there is plenty in terms of sample size for us to be able to say he's a good, not great quarterback.
But he's good.
I think it's the reason the Browns haven't paid him yet. I think he's pretty good. I think he does some things well. I think he limits them in some ways as well. To me, he does not want to throw it outside the numbers. He wants to work the middle of the field. They're a great screen team. They throw a lot of screens. That might be in part based on the fact that their receiving group isn't all that good, which is weird to say because they just got rid of probably their most talented guy, but it's not a good receiving group in terms of the talent there. But Matt, I look at it and I say, why do they have to be so reliant on screens? And why is everything over the middle of the field? And they've got this great offensive line. He should be protected. It feels like they do a lot of the things that the Patriots do to protect Mac Jones because he's not being protected, right? Screen game, quick game, get it out of your hands. Let your playmakers do work with the ball after the catch. To me, if you can get Baker Mayfield down on the scoreboard and put him in a situation where he has to just drop back, pass, read it 1 to 2 to 3, and make plays down the field, I'm not confident that he's great in those situations. I think it's part of the reason the Browns haven't paid him yet. If they felt better about him, he'd have a big deal by now, and he doesn't.
Well, I also think, you've got to look at his situation, right? He had different offensive coordinators for the first, 3 years in the league. And now he's in his second year, finally, with some consistency with Kevin Stefanski. He had a great year last year. And the way that this offensive structure is set up, look, they live in 12 personnel. There are a lot of heavy personnel, 13 sets. And so that's 3 tight ends, 1 wide receiver. So they live and die with the run game. And everything that they do offensively comes off of that run game. So they've become a great screen team. And why not? Right? If you can run the ball the way you do, and even a lot of the screens go to the tight ends, they're easy plays. They like to get an empty formation. He's been outstanding in the quick game. He's very accurate. He had some big plays last week, particularly in the first quarter. He hit a post route dead on the run. I think it was Donovan Peoples-Jones down the middle of the field. So they're set up for play action. They're set up for screens. They do some quick game, but they're not a team that spreads you out and just wants to live in 11 personnel and throw the ball. That's just not their general philosophy. That's not what Kevin Stefanski wants to do. So when you're critiquing him, I don't think it's so much based on him as it is the scheme itself, that this is who we are. This is how we want to play the game. But again, when you get in the 2-minute situations too, that's another way that you evaluate quarterbacks and how they perform. And because probably they don't do it as much, they're probably not as good as it as some of the other teams.
That's a good point. They don't live in that world all that often. So, but there are moments where you're going to be, especially when you're down, right?
Right.
You've got to have 3 receivers on the field. The Patriots don't want to live in that world either, but they're in 11 personnel a fair amount this year because they're down on the scoreboard and they feel like they've got to throw it. So how does he fare in those situations? So Matt, where do you put him? We've talked to you a lot about quarterback rankings this year. Where is he for you?
I mean, he's a solid quarterback in this league, and that's just my general opinion about him. I mean, watching him play, I think he plays tough. I believe he's accurate. Now, every quarterback, if you watch him and you evaluate him throughout the course of a season, look, they're going to make those bonehead throws or bonehead plays and force it in particular situations. But it's not enough to say he's in the Sam Darnold realm of just inconsistent quarterback play. I think he's a consistent quarterback that they play in a very difficult division, and he made tremendous strides last year in what he was able to accomplish, what that team was able to accomplish. And now for him, it's just being consistent and going out there week in and week out and playing well, and I just think he's a solid quarterback, and he's a mid-tier quarterback, but at the same time, he's a guy that you'd feel good about going out on Sundays and performing with.
He's right in the middle.
He's a not going to hurt you guy. He's like a not going to hurt you guy, which is fine. That's excellent. If you have a Myles Garrett and a Jadeveon Clowney and you have a Nick Chubb, that's great. That's great. To me, what's interesting is probably stuck in the back of Patriots fans' minds is the Freddie Kitchens version of Baker Mayfield, who wandered into Foxborough as a rookie. Phil, was he a rookie?
Freddie Kitchens. He
no. Was Baker Mayfield a rookie when they came in here?
Yeah, I don't know.
He might have been his second year.
Yeah,
no idea.
I think he had a handoff intercepted in that game. It was not good. But he's better now than he was.